Thanks for joining us as we wander back in time to this night in Glasgow in February of 2022 when Jack Catterall here challenged for the undisputed world super lightweight title held by the Scottish favourite Josh Taylor. This was the first undisputed world title fight to be staged in the UK in the four belt era, and the fight had been delayed for a couple of months because of an injury to Josh Taylor here, the champion, so that only intensified the drama and the bitterness between these two men in the build-up. Darren Barker and Barry Jones alongside me to watch along here. Barry, you were ringside on the night, and looking back at the bookmakers' odds going into the fight, Josh Taylor was in some cases 10 to 1 on. In other words, he only had to turn up to win. What was the feeling at ringside?
Yeah, the feeling was that as well, Mike. It really was. You know, Jack Catterall's been fantastic throughout his career, but hadn't had a test nowhere near this level. And Josh Taylor, you know, the way he won his world title, the fighters he'd gone through to get to where he was, just stated that, you know, that he had to be the huge favourite, and all he had to do was perform at his best to get the win. But of course, we didn't quite see that.
Darren, this fascinating clash of southpaws, and I think what I remember from this and being quite surprised about the fact was that, and we saw a left hand landing there from Jack Catterall very early on, how accomplished and how accustomed to the big occasion he seemed to be so early.
So relaxed on such a big occasion. Like, I'll be honest, I thought this was a step too far. I was completely in awe of what Josh Taylor had done up until this point, but you could see straight away the way he just sort of dictates the distance, and he's so good with that lead hand, and like you pointed out, he landed that left hand and was just in control. He just grabbed the fight by the scruff of the neck, didn't do anything silly, but instantly you could see this was going to be a very good fight.
For me, Josh Taylor, you know, he's a pressure fighter, so he has to be high energy, high intensity, and Catterall took that away by getting really side on, and because they're both southpaws as well, that took away the left hand of Josh Taylor, which is the backhand for him, of course, but he went really side on and went really low, and that made really difficult, that did, for Josh Taylor to get any momentum to be able to push forward behind that jab and land that right cross. Because once he lands with a shot, he feeds off his success very quickly, and I think he just slowed him down enough, Jack Catterall, especially in the early rounds, to get some confidence in himself.
And just as you finished mentioning that, two left hands from Josh Taylor missed the target because the shoulder of Catterall came around and there was nothing there to aim at.
But every time he got close as well, Josh Taylor got close, you know, and that's his, you know, it's physically stronger, rough him up, he fights well inside. Catterall went really low, too low for him to work, so he ended up having to lean on top of him then, Josh Taylor, and there was problems over that later on in the fight, of course. But it was just really tactically, really clever. And what Darren said about Jack Catterall, how calm he was for such a big occasion for him, being the underdog, you know, all the titles all the belts on the line, and he was just so composed. It was amazing.
You see as well, on the flip side, I've never seen Taylor square up as much in this fight, and that allowed Catterall to find that left hand. But also, Catterall just demonstrating and showing how important patience is in a big fight like this. It's easy to get drawn into the occasion, etc., thinking you've got to throw lows, you've got to do this, but he wasn't. He wasn't greedy. He picked his moments really well, and yeah, it was a fantastic start.
Again, just staying low, side on, really side on for Catterall, just making Taylor miss, and that allowed Taylor to be a target to hit because he was so zoned in and just trying to hit the target, a little bit frustrated already early in the fight, that Catterall could quite often get that 1-2 right on the line, too easy. I've never seen Taylor does get hit quite a lot, but he fires off it, but I've never seen Taylor get hit so often, so cleanly in a fight, certainly early on as it was in this contest.
And I think we see the signs of frustration quite early as well from Taylor. You know, usually, yes, aggressive, but there was moments where I felt he was annoyed. He was annoyed by the awkwardness of Catterall and the accuracy with that jab. He could not miss with that lead hand.
And another thing to note as well, to be fair, that I said he was side on and very low. Catterall, so a lovely combination there from Jack Catterall, but he held a lot. So when Taylor did get really close, he got inside, put his arms underneath the armpits of Taylor, didn't allow him to work, and that added to that frustration you were talking about, Darren. And I think it just made it more of an angry fighter, which worked against him, I felt.
Something I remember from the build-up to this is Carl Frampton saying, just be careful in underestimating Jack Catterall, because he said in the time Carl had spent at Jamie Moore's gym on the edge of Manchester, he'd seen Jack Catterall sparring, and it was as good as anybody he'd seen in sparring. And the question was then, can he reproduce under the lights? And look what some of this is beautiful.
But that was a valid question though, Mike. I think, because I covered most of Catterall's early career, and he looked fantastic, but he was sometimes a victim of wanting to look good rather than be good, if that makes any sense. He wanted to look pretty and always composed, but sometimes he could have done more and finished the show, and he wanted just to look really neat. And that's a good trait to have. But when you get to that level, sometimes you've got to click that switch and go for it. I didn't think he had that in him. And that was why I thought Taylor was a massive favourite for this fight. But he proved that he could dig in deep, he could fight back. Because let's be honest, on paper, Taylor's the bigger puncher, I thought. But on the night, Catterall looked a puncher of the two.
Left again. Of the two fighters going into this, you would have thought that the one that would look more tense would be Catterall. But you look at the shoulders and how relaxed he is in a ring of this magnitude. It was so impressive, and he just puts the shots out. You see that left hand again. At no point was he made to fear letting his hands go by any counters that were going to come back by Taylor. He was just doing his own thing. He literally could not miss with that shot.
You just saw in the backdrop there, this is round 6 now, so we're getting towards halfway, and absolutely no sign of Catterall failure.
No, not at all. And it was around this time that Taylor knew he needed to have a push, because he's behind here and frustrated as well. Talk about the hold. There's a referee there. More than I said about the holding, warning Catterall about that continuously holding in close. But it's adding to the frustration. It's doing its job. He's getting away with it for the most part. But I thought Taylor was giving too much time to work. But I didn't give it on the nights. But I think looking back, I didn't give Catterall enough credit for always creating that space, for making Taylor frustrated, for making Taylor think before he attacked. But we know Josh Taylor, we know how tough he is, and at some point he was just going to commit anyway. He didn't stop trying to come forward, and once he had a bit of success, I thought he did pull a few rounds back.
Yeah, almost at this point, game plan has gone out the window for Taylor. It's about getting close and trying to outwork Catterall. Right, that's it now. I've been frustrated by Catterall. Let's stick it on him now. Be busy and try and outwork Catterall.
So this now is the 8th round, and this turns out to be a crucial round in the fight. And Marcus McDonald, referee, actually did a good job here.
He did.
Because there was a lot of bitterness in the build-up to this.
Yeah, there was, and he had to keep a lid on it, didn't he, without trying to penalise either one too much. And again, that constant pushing down with the head there from Catterall, and that maybe comes back to haunt him a little bit in that contest. But still, this was a push where Taylor needs to get those rounds back. Now he needs to be more aggressive. He's got to make Catterall feel the pace of it. He's got to make him feel a bit of power. So he's trying to push forward, but again, Catterall knowing that infighting, not so much the fighting, knowing how to hold and turn and spin, was just fantastic. It really was.
Oh, that shot there. And about 30 seconds before this, he lands a similar shot, Catterall. He punches down with the left hand and he reads Taylor's movement, moving to his left, away from the shot. But he really hurt Josh Taylor there for sure.
And we'll see when we come to play the replay of that shot. There's a fascinating element, and I'd be interested to get your views, given where you've been in your careers. Catterall kind of taps the back of his head as if he's complaining to referee Marcus McDonald about being hit on the back of the head, and then suddenly floors Taylor, and it's almost as if it's part of a combination to get himself going. Tap there, bang, bang. It's like a combination.
Well, he does get hit in the back of the head, and I think he does generally go like that, but he sort of gets momentum from that, doesn't he? It's absolutely phenomenal.
Like distracted Taylor.
Yeah, and that was also good with Jack Catterall. We all praised him because he boxed out of his skin, I thought. That he could rattle off combinations against someone like Josh Taylor, who fires back every time he lands with a shot. He fires back all the time. That was his superpower on his way to being the unified champion. And Catterall would just be able to throw so smooth, especially down the centre of the guard, so frequently that it was a shock. It really was.
That's the word, I think, smooth.
Yeah.
Because it's not razor sharp the way he throws them. He's so relaxed when he throws a combination, and they're so accurate and so hurtful, as we see. And now you can see that Taylor just desperately trying to get close, doing everything he can. The crowd going crazy, trying to will him on.
You just see Taylor there, going to get, this is where the point comes away, of course. And to be fair, it was right as well. I didn't disagree there with the referee. I know Taylor was a little bit dirty at times, but Catterall was constantly holding, pushing on the back of the head, and at some point the referee's continuously telling him he has to take a point.
And this is round 10, so just a belief growing in the Taylor corner that with that point he might be able to drag it back.
There was also worry he's going to walk onto shots again, wasn't it? You know, 'cause like what happened in the 8th, you know, that he tries to rush his work and gets caught coming forward.
You can see the damage as well around the right eye, underneath the right eye of Taylor, and it's that left hand. He honestly could not miss with the shot, Catterall. Again, just dipping that head every single time, Taylor, to the left, and he read it every time, Catterall.
And just see that when Taylor attacks, see how low he went, Catterall? As soon as Taylor attacks, he goes bam, he bends his knees straight away. Just makes him a real small target to hit. And let's be honest, it seemed at this point, especially in the arena as well, that it was about Catterall not making any mistakes now. I think we're at the point now where, you know, we all thought he was so far ahead, he had to just be neat and tidy, and it was all on Josh Taylor to really force the pace.
And there's the punch after the bell at the end of round 11. So this negated the point docked from Catterall a round earlier.
Madness. Utter madness. No need. And like you say, he gets the point and then just gives it straight back.
But you know what? That's for Josh Taylor, that sort of attitude is what made him what he was. That grit and I won't take anything from anybody. That made him the good fighter he was. Let's not forget, he was our best fighter for ages. Josh Taylor, for me, absolutely fantastic.
Into the 12th and final round now, and Ben Davison, who we saw in the corner, has sent Josh Taylor out here and said, you need the stoppage.
And it felt like that on the night, it really did. I don't know anyone who was around my area. You know, Carl Frampton I was working alongside, of course. Macklin was in front of me. Everyone believed that it was Josh Taylor had to do it, or had to get a knockout to win. It was Jack Catterall's fight to lose. And we couldn't believe what we were seeing. No, we all knew Jack Catterall was a good fighter, but this was stepping up to a level where the guy, he's not just good, this is the top of the cream of the top of the cream, you know, where in a division which is full of talent anyway.
Yeah, standout performance.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, this was 9 months after he'd beaten Jose Carlos Ramirez, and everybody thought he would do similar here, first defence.
Yep, and there is no, you can't fake this. This can't be faked. You know if you've won or lost the fight, and you can see Taylor there kind of got his hand up, but there's no way that Jack Catterall didn't win this fight.
And here are the scorecards that we still to this day can't believe.
Scores the bout 113, 112, Catterall. Ian John Lewis scores the bout 114, 111, Taylor. Victor Laughlin scores the bout 113, 112 for your winner by split decision. And still undisputed super lightweight champion of the world, the Tartan Tornado, Josh Taylor!
I mean, I'm a fan of both. I like both, but this man didn't win the fight.
I was Josh Taylor's biggest fan. I really was. I was praising from the heavens for such a long time. But yeah, that's irrelevant. Who won the fight? But interestingly, the two scorecards, the 114, 111 was a crazy card. But the other two, for either fighter, they both had it very close. So, you know, I think the judges agreed with a lot of rounds. I think with each other. So, you know, we all think that Catterall won by a wide margin. Everyone I know that watched it. But maybe the system how you judge a fight is not what we understand what it should be, because they all had it quite similar for a lot of it. So maybe we need to be aware of how you judge a fight, or how they judge a fight, and then tell them they should do it our way. But I mean, there's an injustice there, and the sad thing about that is Jack Catterall might never get the opportunity, and probably won't, to be an undisputed champion again. He might win the world title, but that ship might have sailed for him.